I'ma fight for myself. Walk 100 miles in these shoes, you should've seen how I felt. Oh, yeah.
So, I had to sit. This is 3:06 a.m. and today is what, June 28th or 29th. One of the two right now, I don't know. But I woke up at 3 a.m. yesterday. I think it was 3 a.m. yesterday, right? And so something kept trying. There's this thing where America has right now where they're trying to use different things to keep you oppressed and suppressed mentally and spiritually is what they've been doing. And so they were like, oh, go smoke. I was like, I go against the grain. You know what? I don't want to smoke right now. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to relax in the bed, and I wanted something to divinely guide me, something for my mind to be at peace. I wanted to be at still because the enemy has been trying to have me busy. And I've been saying, like, ever since I moved back up to Atlanta, when I was 2 hours away, like, to me, it was like kind of like the country. And everything was more peaceful to me. I came back to Atlanta and it was like, dang, why is everybody always so busy? Everybody, oh, I'm busy. I gotta go work. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. I gotta work. I gotta go to work. The men go to work. I gotta work. I gotta work. I gotta chase this bag. I gotta get this bag. I gotta get this money. Gotta get this money. And I'm like, wow, if people are moving so much, then when do they have time to be still? Like, who's taking care of the kids? Who's raising the kids? Like, who's loving? Like, who has, it just seemed like everybody was always going. I moved back, and then I moved from Atlanta, found another place out in Gwinnett, further away, and it seems like it is almost a little worse out here. And it's like people just going. But then what has happened to me in between last year and this year, last year I was at peace, but I was also missing a part of me that had that drive. And it seems like I was put into, or I healed to light. I graduated and elevated myself to light mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. There's levels of development stages, right? And so I know that I graduated and elevated to the love. So now I'm in a stage where it's time for me to reap all my fruit because I know I'm a righteous woman of God. I know when I give wholeheartedly with nothing in return, with no expectations of anything in return. I've always been a woman of God, and that's been embedded and anchored in me. This is something that is a part of my divinity. But what has happened is when I decided I wanted to separate from a man and I didn't want to be married anymore because he was doing things in a marriage to prey upon my joy, my happiness, my peace, my love, my gentleness, my patience, my nurturing. He wanted me to be angry, and that didn't work for me. A part of me think that the men that were doing those things, that to the women, that was their way of trying to tell them that, listen, this is the type of man you got down with. You may have been a woman in the church, and you may be a woman of God and raised like this. But then when we come out of it, when we meet somebody outside of what we are raised in, and they have different spiritual practices, I believe that when I met that man, even at that time, I believe his mother had different spiritual knowledge. His sister had spiritual knowledge. I didn't know nothing about that stuff. If my mama and my auntie and my families, if they knew about it, they didn't introduce that to me. They didn't introduce that to me when I met him, before I met him. All I knew about was going to church. I was blessed in the church, and I was baptized in the church. I went to a Baptist church. That was what they did. I didn't know about it. But what I'm basically getting to say is they have put us in a situation. My 400 years of enslavement ended. Our 400 years of enslavement ended in 2019 for us as melanated people. But what these people knew was it was going to end. They already knew it was going to end. They already orchestrated everything. So here you are, you orchestrate everything. And you come to pray and inflict pain upon us because God has called us out of slavery. You want to enslave us again through artificial intelligence and through robots and through MK Ultra mind control because you've been watching us. You knew we were connected telepathically, all our people connected to each other. So you come to introduce a one-world religion telepathically, mentally, MK Ultra mind control through AI is what you did, but my mind is at peace. I am free again. I have to do that and stop it in between because I feel like our hands, our mouth, our heart, our mind is what we speak unto ourselves. I speak life into myself. I speak good health and wealth into myself. I speak justice for myself, for my family, and what this country has done to me. Not just me. So many other black people, blood has shed upon America's land. So many black people right now said they were willing to sacrifice themselves so the world could end, so we would no longer be slaved like this mentally. Because the white people don't care about the black people, and they have been doing this to us mentally. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm speaking upon the ones that cause intentional pain and hurt amongst the women, the men, and the children that are melanated because of the power in our skin, in our melanin, the ether. So you knew what you were doing already. So you say, you know what? Oh, this is the God they serving. Since they serving God and they in the church and they doing good, we're going to cause COVID-19 Trump. Because Trump is the one that initially knew that this COVID is the one that came from India. He knew. I did research on you. You knew what I knew. You knew what I knew. You knew that it initially COVID was in India, and somehow it went from India to China. But when that happened, you blamed it and you said it was China, and you were in office at that time, and there were other people supporting you saying that it came from China. I know for a fact I am a woman of God. I do not lie. I do not have to lie. Why would I lie when I'm in my power and authority? I speak the truth, and what I said is what I said, and that's it. You knew it was in India. You knew it went from India to China, but you, for some reason, you did not speak on India. You only wanted to put it on China, 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 China. I don't know what it is you have so much against China, because me as a melanated woman, I have respect for all nations. I have a love and admiration for all nations, all cultures, including the whites, the caucus, the Caucasians. I don't hate you. It's the devil, it's the spirit, it's the entity, it's the parasite, it's the being behind your flesh. I don't have an issue with your flesh. I don't have an issue with the race and your complexion. None of that. And I don't base my decisions based off of your race. It's really based off of the entity on your race. That's the truth. So you and then 400 years over with 2019, you all knew we were rising up. You knew that we had risen. So here we go, 2020, we hit with so many things like the George Floyd and then the Piedmont Park and then the Atlanta University, and so many sacrifices of so many black people, so many rituals of blacks that have happened. And you say, oh, they committed suicide. Like, I'm a fool. I ain't believed in the media, and I know about the media. I ain't believed in the media. I don't trust the media. I don't care about trending topics. I got to see and read it. I don't even trust the video edits. I got to read it, and they need to have quotes around it for me to trust that it came out of that person's mouth. Because if it didn't come out of that person's mouth, I hope that person does research on themselves and Google themselves. So that way, when they Google themselves, then they know exactly what has happened and what is happening in the media with their name. Any topics. If they are saying, oh, this came from me and they got a quote on it and it's a lie, sue they behind. Because that's what the truth is. Who owns the media? Who owns a lot of the television networks, the news networks? I support Bill Cosby, and up until the other day, I did not really support P. Diddy, but a part of me humbled myself because something said, this black man must have been on something too, for them to be combating him the way that they are doing right now. They always use the black person as the middle man, and then they sit they behind back, and then they try to cause all that confusion amongst the black community. They turning people against P. Diddy. They are people looking at P. Diddy like he wrong. They had me thinking that P. Diddy was the one that caused everything that was involved with the murders with Biggie and Tupac. I've been thinking that for the longest. I said, oh, watch him because he the one that's close to them. Do you know that that is the mindset? That is what they created. That's what they created. Little do I know, my mind is thinking right now that, 1122, master number, that yes, that I could have been in a spiritual community since a baby. I could have been in a spiritual community. The reason why I could have been in a spiritual community is because they knew the power and the divinity within me, because my mother was not from this country. She was from West Africa, and she took that BWI or that BJG or whatever that shot is in her arm that got a circle and got ... Now you got your cootie shot. My mama got that shit in her. And that's why I kept wondering, what is happening here? You think that you were going to kill me yesterday. You thought that you were trying to kill me. You've been trying to suppress my breath. You've been trying to dehydrate me. You've been doing this to so many other women before their power in them, trying to kill us for our power. This is what is happening in America. Us that have melanated, us that are of the descendants of the immigrants, we are in spiritual communities. These people are trying to kill us for our power and our energy to help fuel their grid in this country. But they turn around and say, in God we trust. And they're the one that created this in God for this country. I want everybody in China, in Asia, Russia, every nation that is not a nation that is melanated. I want all the melanated nations. India, you're melanated. You were black before they whitewashed you, as well as for Russia, as well as for Mexico, as well as for Asia. You all have to acknowledge the truth. You have to know who you are and your divinity and your roots. It's so important right now for you to know your roots, because if you go on the wrong side, it could be dangerous for you. God is angry, and God is going to really, seriously, the God of this earth is going to cast judgment upon this earth. If the people that are of the melanated nations do not come together. We are supposed to come together. Moana 2. What are all the movies telling you? Come on, black people. I know y'all know this. Y'all can't be sitting here, keep getting up and going to the bar and going to the lounge and going to eat and going to Defy and going to Dave & Buster's and going to the mall and keep just thinking this is all lavish in America, when these people could literally drop a bomb here and kill everyone in the drop of a dime just because things are not working out for them in America no more. And it's not a corporation over black people for their power spiritually, because that's what they really want, is your spiritual power. They don't even, as long as they think that they got your spiritual power, they think that they're getting you physically. Not this woman, not my family. Definitely not the sons that I went through 39 weeks carrying. And I birthed each last one of my 5 sons through my vagina. They didn't get cut out of me. God has carried me through 5 labors for me to have, I do believe, 3 of them natural. Sometimes I exaggerate because of the pain, but I think it was 2. 2 or 3 of them I had completely natural. No epidural, because my mama said, you better pain. Because my mom said, you better pain. The pain you bear right now is better for you than if something happened to you with that epidural. She knew. And it took me a while, but I always trusted her. I always listened to my mother. I'm one of the girls that did everything my mother told me to do. And anything that I thought she would not approve from, the little bitty things I hid from her because I was scared it would hurt her and she would be disappointed in me. I'm hurt because of what these people did to me yesterday, because I didn't eat when they wanted me to eat. If I don't smoke when they want me to smoke. If I don't drink when they want me to drink, since I moved back to Atlanta. And now I'm telling my business. This video is getting uploaded instantly as soon as I am finished with it, because I don't know what these people might do to me. I want it to be known worldwide what happened to me and what is happening. I met a woman at a previous job, and she started crying because of the immigrants when it first started with Trump. And she's like, I apologize, y'all, but the other girl in the office that they just asked her how she was doing, like, and she was like, with everything going on, everything's going, I'm happy, we're good. And she was like, it's just, y'all, I gotta say this. It's just so not fair for immigrants in this country. And I felt all of her. I thought about my mother. But then at that time, I was eating plant-based. They had me eating plant-based. They had me not eating meat. And they associate when you eat meat with your dark power. You, as a woman, they want us to eat fish. They want us to only eat fish, so you can balance out your light with them. So when you eating fish, they consume you in these spiritual communities. They're fighting a spiritual warfare that they've been fighting for I don't know how long. But in their spiritual communities, they consume me at night. They clean themselves up on me, and then they leave. They were leaving the entities on me. And so then I feel them consuming me, and then I have to keep wiping them off of me because they say, oh, they've given me healing hands. This is our birthright. Like, we've been having this. And if it's not my birthright, I don't want it, because I'm not fixing to keep anything that's not for me and is given to me spiritually by this country. I don't want it. If the God over this country thinks it's God over the God that I know is the God that I know of my divinity, because I'm a son child. I am a sun child. I enjoy the sun. I love the sun. The pure natural sun that rains, rise, and rain all over the earth. Ra is hot enough, bright enough for the entire earth. There could not ever be an illusion. But what they messed up and did is they gave us light, some of the women, and now they got too much light on the earth. And so now they're saying it's too hot. Oh, you're too powerful for the grid. You got to get off the grid. And they're doing this and that and talking about you got firepower. Oh, you got firepower. You got light power. But then they come and they say, oh, they got the Freemasons working for them and they got the OES working for them. And this is what they do for the spiritual communities and for the power and all this chaos that they've been causing mentally and spiritually, and the cause for so many mental health problems, because you got these people in spiritual communities. That's the problem for the mental health problem so much recently. But they've always had them in spiritual communities, and then they'll use it against them If they don't do what they tell them to do, they go back in the spiritual community and can easily have an entity consume somebody else to kill you. That's what they've been doing. They've used spiritual communities for decades, centuries, and years. This has been going on for a long time. Cancel out centuries. For decades and years, they've been using these spiritual communities. This is the information that I had access to when I was meditating and I was focusing my mind, eating clean, and forgiving all of the people from my past, because I had an awareness. God had given me an understanding as well as an overstanding, because I had already understood everything. I understood it when it was something that I really did not receive, but this was what they said it was, so I had to take it as what it was. But then when you start reading and researching and educating yourself, you get an understanding. You ask God for an overstanding, and you get what you need to receive. And see, we as melanated people, we get everything we need when we just step outside. You open your mouth wide and you get water, and hopefully it's the water and not the parasites or entities or anything being sprayed, or silver ions being sprayed in the air. Hopefully it's not what you're getting and receiving, but you can get everything you need in nature. As long as the water is clean and nothing is coming out of the air into the water on the land, the earth is at peace. Why is it that you see so many animals when it's getting warm? Like, I took my kids to the zoo last year, and it was spring break last year. I took my kids to Noah's Ark, and it's a nonprofit organization, and there's no cost for it. You can just pull up and you can give donations to watch the animals, and you get out your car and you walk around and see all the animals. I took my kids, and I'm like, what is going on with the animals? Some of them were like just so exhausted from the heat, and some of them were hunching, like just getting to it, like they were just they were mating. That's what they say. They were mating, and of course I have to explain to my kids, because this is what they see. What are they doing? Yeah, I had to explain it. So basically what I am saying is this stuff has been happening for a very long time. And you see in the summertime, you can correlate the mating with the animals and see how the men act in heat in the summertime and the women with the sundresses. But you got to see that the men are in control of themselves, a lot of them. And the women seem as if they are out of control of themselves. Then you come and you give the women a beast spiritually, and you got them fighting spiritual warfare, and some of them doing it unconsciously. They don't even know it. Some of them doing it consciously. The ones doing it consciously, you got them, and you don't even care. You got these Cabin by the Woods, you got this Lovecraft Country, and you show us exactly how you watch us through portals, or through your TV, or through our cell phones, or through our first eyes, when we awaken. But do you know in nations, in countries outside of America, they don't have, a lot of them don't have entities that's actually placed upon them, that's blocking off of their their energy centers, which is their spiritual gifts. When they align, you activate the power in you. You activate Christ consciousness in you. That's when you get to that love frequency. That's that Christ in you. That's the truth about the Bible. But the Bible can cause confusion. But if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't get the understanding, the understanding, the overstanding through healing to actually obtain it naturally, I can guarantee you it can cause mental health problems if you've been raised, especially in the church, and then you get thrown into a spiritual community. The thing is, I can promise you, the fact that these people are coming to me right now and telling me I cannot get they cause distractions so I don't get my passport. Because they tell me that if I get my passport, I got to always come back here. And they're always telling me that if I I cannot use my gifts on another land. So that lets me know that that I have to say, the God that they created for their system, for their church, is not the same God that is in me already. That's the God that they wanted to take from me and then give me their God. I don't want your spiritual divinity. I only want my birthright divinity that's from my mother and my father. I don't want nothing that this country gives me spiritually. So if it be that you think you got power over me, this African AT alien that was in me, I can guarantee you, you will not ever be able to take the alien out of me. You won't ever be able to take that out of me. You won't ever be able to take... See, I know the species that I go back to. I know my history, my ancestry, all the way back to species. I'm grateful for Kaba Kemin and the Spirituality Before Religion book. That helped me a lot. I'm grateful for Queen Afua. I'm grateful for Dr. Sebi. I'm grateful for Alina Alive. I'm grateful for Attract Passion. I'm grateful for Abraham Hicks. I'm grateful for, please don't let me, Ralph Smart. I'm grateful for Enoch. There's certain things, but I can tell what's happening with him too. But I really think that it's something, he'll get there. I can tell something happening with him. And there's more. As I remember, I'm going to give credit to what credit is due for everything that has helped me along this journey, because so many people I have met and they've given me breadcrumbs. And YouTube has been phenomenal with the algorithm, but I still don't like that, because somehow it's relating to AI, and it's somehow relating to the spiritual communities in our mind and God and the chosen ones. And then you got a movie that's coming out on Netflix or out on Netflix now, and it says like the chosen ones Last Supper, like they're planning to try to execute us here in America if we don't do things the way we want them to do it. I had a dream that there was chaos all in America, and there was some kind of civil war, and people were just running all around, killing each other left and right, breaking in stores. It's like, and they've made movies about it, because these people have had visions and dreams about it. So what I'm basically saying is, this is my testimony, because I have already been tested and I passed it. The ones I didn't pass, I passed because I learned. It developed me. It developed me spiritually, physically, emotionally, for me to learn emotional intelligence. I am grateful because I know who I am, and I know whose I am, and I know what I need, and I know what has always been in us. And I know what has been taken from us, and they still keep doing it. But you thinking you're going to do it now. And they don't know that there are people on each corners of the earth right now, and they ready to set it off. And they ready to let the earth in, and they ready. When I'm telling you, the worst thing they could have done is to put all of us in a spiritual community and think that we would not be intellectually and wise enough, divinely wise, because it's in us, and that our divine God would not guide us out of captivity again. This time, it's going to be even more fruitful for us, because all the ancestors are with all of the melanated people. All of your ancestors, your ancient ancestors, even the ones that are not here on this land, that are overseas, they all watching over each and every melanated person. I can guarantee it. You don't have to serve your ancestors. You don't have to feel like you got to do so much work with your ancestors. You don't have to do that, because they're going to work for you no matter what. This is what I feel. I don't feel like we have to do too much because they're doing things, and some of us are connected to our ancestors on one side, and then some of us connected to their spiritual community on the another side, or some of us are connected to our ancestors, and then if you're on this land, they have a community over you. They can hear everything spiritually and mentally that you are doing. I kept wondering, like, who, every time I rise up, ever since I moved back to Atlanta, it's like when I rise up to a certain level, they don't like it. It's like they pushing me down. It feels like somebody took a ton of bricks and they're pushing me down. And then as they're pushing me down spiritually, and it's like the patriarchy, the men, it's always the men, and they come in feminine voices because they, when I first started going through spiritual attacks and spiritual warfare and feeling like something was happening, I asked my ex and I confronted him. I was like, I'm going through such and such. Are you doing things to me spiritually to keep me from moving on, or what's happening? And he was like, and I was like, did you send this guy to me? Because it was a guy that I met. 222 was his door number. And after, well, me and him was separated, but we were still married. And we cohabitated on the weekends together for the kids. Before we got a divorce. And I met this guy, and I was in Atlanta when I met this guy, and he was a black man, but the image in my mind of him that night and how he was is the same image that I had, that is everything I went through, that the girl on Lovecraft Country, the Journey Smollett, her character in that movie, when they had split all of them apart and they had them like in a trance, she was in the room and she was like seeing him in there with her, and then he's like going to take down his pants, and he got this big snake, like his penis is a snake, and it's giving you the symbolism of the serpent trying to get in her, right? When I'm telling you, these people have done something to us spiritually and mentally in this country, in America. And many of them took their jurisdiction overseas to other parts of other lands so they could depreciate those lands by colonizing them. And all I'm asking for, and I'm praying to God, I am begging the whole entire universe across all timelines, all dimensions, all realms, to have mercy upon all the melanated nations again. That's what I'm praying for. I have to do that because that's where the attack has been. I don't hate European people, but I got to speak for my people, the melanated people. And that's what I'm doing. All of you with ether in you, let you be activated and know the truth. In Christ's name, let you be activated. Let Christ activate in you. If you don't activate today, let you activate any day after today. My God, the pain I experienced yesterday was so unbearable, so hurtful for me. Because these people, when they activated and told me the world was ending in 2023, they told me to lay my healing hand upon this land in America. That's what they used me for when they had me go plant-based. They had me eating raw for me to activate the light power in me, and then they took my land. While I was on American soil, they told me to put my hand on this land. After they used me, they tried to kill me and wipe my memory, and I was on the side of the road. But I rose again, God, just like Christ. But it was already in me. They thought they could kill me. Something in me, you cannot kill me. You will not be able to kill me mentally or spiritually. And God doesn't want me to say it yet. God wants for them to make sure they clean up. Okay. I said, I can't help everybody, but I can help myself. So, from this day moving forward, let all of the melanated people be activated in truth with their own natural Christ frequency that's within you. We don't need anything additional. We don't want your species. We don't want you monitoring. We don't want your species consuming us. We don't accept it. I do not accept it. I don't want it. My divinity that's within me, that's always been in me, that's a makeup of me, my whole mind, my soul, my body, that's what I want. You know, when this happened back in 2023, I didn't know what was happening, but I went through some kind of ritual, and I remember them keep telling me, my body, 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 my body. That's what they were doing to me. And then they were trying to clone me, or they were trying to come into me. So they were trying to give me a part of them and take a part of me. I don't want it. You did it maliciously. Return my whole mind and my body back to me instantly. You have as well no right over my sons. What I fight for myself, I fight for the children that came out of me. I don't care if they were on this land and you think they're a part of you and your corporation of slaves, and it's not going to work anymore. That's my sons. See, when you've been giving me images and you've been playing around with my dreams, you've been giving me an image for me to see. It was just me with all white people on a boat with water all around me. And my sons were nowhere to be found. It was just me, and you had me happy. You had flooded the whole earth. And on that boat, I didn't see any black people. I saw only white people and myself. I never forget that dream. I didn't see no black people, only white people. And it was on a boat that was some kind of boat where the water is like, when you look out the small mirrors, and when you look out the small windows, it was circles. You look out, you would see water. So like, it's as if we were underwater. Whatever we were under, a submarine or whatever it was as if we were underwater, and there was water all around. So I'm dropping this video today, and this is, it's a lot, because you're going to see and hear some of my gifts in this video, because I channel mediumship. Like, there's a plethora of them, and I'm trying to learn how to control them. But I feel like these people gave me these gifts. Either they gave them to me, or it's something that was already naturally in us as melanated people, but then they come to create the Bible to act like they're God when their God gives you this power. And now they tell me, oh, you can't leave this country. You can't. They try to distract me from getting a passport so I don't leave this country. They're trying to keep us melanated people that have certain gifts here on this land. So if we don't do what they tell us to do, they try to act like, oh, this is why the earth ended, because you didn't tell us what we told you. We told you to get off the grid. We told you to give up your power, but you didn't give up your power. So then they try to kill you. Or if it doesn't work that way, if a lot of people keep doing the same thing like I have been doing, and for some reason something keeps telling me to call my power back. And so I wake up and they tell me to call my power back, so I call my power back. But it's not them telling me. It's like something comes over me to control me, to tell me to call my power back, to see what's happening. This is happening on American soil. I do not know what's happening in Russia. I do not know what's happening in the Holy Land of Africa. I do not know what's happening on West Africa. I do not know what's happening in Asia. I do not know what's happening in India, in Mexico, and all the other lands and nations. I do not know. But I'm telling you what is happening to me in America, and I know it's happening to other women as well, but they are not as bold as me in speaking the truth, because they have tried to kill me so many times in the past and it won't work. Like, I have a plethora of lives, spiritually, mentally, physically. You're not going to do anything. And like I tell them, if somebody is on their way with their intention set to harm me, I can guarantee you they will harm themselves before they get to me. That's it. Because that's the power and authority in me. I can protect myself and my sons. I have to. A woman has to be balanced. We as individuals, if you think about it, we have to be balanced until they created this polarity thing. And then they took the men's souls, the melanated men's souls. You take their souls, you took half of them, and then you come back to tell us that, oh, the women in light, or one person in light and one person in darkness. No, that don't make sense to me. We're supposed to have both within us. And like I tell them, my light has always been over me, covering me, guiding me, protecting me, and within me. And then the melanin that's on my skin naturally protected me. It's the black, the melanin, the ether. We receive what God needs for us to receive through that, through the coils on our hair, through the melanin on our skin. We are so many different shades of black. And there's so many Caucasian people that do not know that they have melanin in them. So in Native Americans, the Aboriginals of this land, melanin. You were darker, copper-colored people. Not darker, copper-colored skinned people is what was all over this land. At that time, the sun is what, the sky is where they looked for signs at. The sun, the moon, the stars, solar eclipse. They knew what to do. My grandmother knew what to do. She still does know what to do. My great-grandmother, my maternal and my paternal. Oh, my paternal. When I heard some of the stories of what they've been through on this land, when I heard, I had the pleasure of connecting with my paternal family, and they had a family reunion. It was like Juneteenth. They had the reunion, and it was during COVID, so they did virtual and on site. So they did it virtual. Everybody, I think, was at their homes. And then I think they had something there as well. For anybody that could not make it, that was out of town, they did a virtual, like through Zoom. And it was a beautiful thing. And then they went through they had an outline of an itinerary, and they went through and they had the elders teaching us about the history, about everything that happened, about our ancestry, and how to stay away from the marijuana. And so we knew to stay away from the marijuana. At that time, I wasn't smoking. But when I came back to Atlanta, it was like my nerves. When I came back to Atlanta, I was trying to figure out, like, it was so much. And little did I know that it was the entities. And people were sending me entities with messages on what to do. But at the same time, I thought that it was, come to find out, the entities they were sending was from the spiritual communities, they were filling us up in the cities. I don't know if it's the vampires or what it is. If it's their vampires or their werewolves or what it is. But when I came back in that 2021 and for the my kids came for the weekend. It was Juneteenth. I was going to the Juneteenth. It was crazy because then it started raining for Juneteenth, and I couldn't even get to go to really enjoy it too much. And then I also had the family reunion. But what I'm basically leading to say is something is happening, and we already knew something was happening in predominantly the cities, the main cities of all the states. And this is the main cities. The stuff that's happened to me yesterday, I felt the entities coming down spiritually in through my eyes. I felt the entities. I felt them going all through my crown. I felt them all in my joints, my shoulders. I had never been a person to break out on my arms. I see them bumps on my arms, at the top of my shoulders. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, so is this what y'all been going through in America? I don't got nobody. Everybody's scared, y'all, to speak their truth. But here I am, the daughter of a West African woman, and she has fought so hard to keep me safe and protected all my life. She didn't even want me to leave the little city. She didn't want me to leave her too far out of the city. And for my brother as well, protecting us, doing the best that she could as a mother that does not know a lot about America, but she listens and she receives. Stop the drinking. She went through that phase too. I don't think she's done the weed, but she would stop the drinking. They tried to separate my mother and me. They separated my ex and me. They still kept fighting, trying to separate us, and they told me I didn't need to take my kids around him, and he didn't need to be around me. When I don't listen and I still let the kids go over there with him, they try to like keep my kids. Then they try to tell me to leave my kids with him. You don't need the kids. You leave the kids with him and you leave here. They just keep going back and forth. This is what the white women been doing and the white men been doing to me. These are the ones that are covering over the ones they have hired that are on a lower level of masonry or OES, because the European ones are the ones that's been going over them. So I'm making this video today because of the pain, the unbearable pain I experienced yesterday. And the white woman said, well, since you want to help other people heal, because when I came into these gifts, all I knew was to help my people and educate them on the parasites in the air. And I created a parasite cleanse in Augusta. And this is when all this started. And I started selling my parasite cleanse in Augusta and selling sea moss and black seed oil and holistic mentoring people on how to heal themselves naturally, holistically, mentally, physically, emotionally. I started doing that. These people got angry and didn't like that I was helping my people. And they didn't like that it was for them. They said I needed to help everyone. But you guys have only helped each other. But you got a problem with me helping my people. So they caused chaos to happen in Augusta for me to have to move back to Atlanta. And that's when all this started with Atlanta. And when I came back, and then I had when I came back, and there was so many, it seems like I couldn't keep still. It's like I couldn't keep still. Eating plant-based, eating raw, vegan, like eating clean, meditating, not smoking, not drinking. And the entities keep you going, the parasite, like what I'm telling you, they keep you so busy that you're so distracted you don't see the truth. You don't know the truth. So this is my truth. And I'm making sure I speak on it because this is all I have to express myself. The journal, me trying to journal all this, it got too much for me. But it's easier for me to speak and get it out. I went to bed in a little bit of pain. I went to bed with my head hurting, excruciating pain for me, because these people got us in spiritual communities and they clean themselves up on us and they're sending demons to us. They don't call it demons though. They say entities, because they know you can control the demons, because God gave us power over the spirit and the flesh. So the knowledge that was in the Bible, that's what I've been using, because that's all I knew. And they were angry with me spiritually and mentally. They got angry when I go to my prayer altar and I read scriptures on them and tell them that they are not in alignment with the scriptures that they wrote and that they abiding by. Because if you're supposed to be in spirit and in truth, you still not abiding by the right things, are you? And in addition to that, if you say, oh, well, I don't go to church and I don't believe in the Bible, well, there's still universal laws over that topples over everything. Because before anything, there was ma'at. You have to have truth, order, balance, and yes, justice will come for you. That's how it was. They don't want me to speak the truth. They don't want those things to happen. They don't want it to happen. They don't want it for nobody. And it's so sad because of what they're doing to P. Diddy right now. I have to say, they tell me to only focus on myself. You don't need to focus on nobody else. You don't need to care about nobody else. Only focus on yourself. I'm focusing on myself right now. This is me focusing on myself, by myself. Because they'll even do stuff like my two oldest kids, when they know they're about to attack me, or they think that they're about to kill me overnight in my sleep, or do some of the things that they've been doing to a lot of melanated people over the past 5 years, where these people been dying in their sleep. What they've been doing, when you think people dying in their sleep, these people are in spiritual communities. And I'm not sure what happens. You got to be careful, because you may think your mama, your sister, or your friend, or your wife, or your husband is attacking you, or even your children is attacking you spiritually. But I guarantee you it's not them. It's the witchcraft. Yes, it's happening. But the truth is don't go killing your people. Yes. Because of these people is what I'm saying. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I read an article yesterday. There was a lighter skinned African-American man. He killed his daughter and burned her up with a tire around her because he said witchcraft was controlling her. Why did that resonate with me? You know how many times these people tried to tell me that they told me telepathically that my ex-husband had shot my son in the head? That's what they told me telepathically in the spiritual community. The entity, but they send these entities. They put you in the community, I believe, in a spiritual community, and they're sending the entities to you. See, the thing is, I've been trying my best to redirect my focus, to get on my feet, to get out of here, out of America. But they've been trying to keep me working. And then they tell me, if I'm working, the company I'm working for, they are putting you in a spiritual community. I was just working for a company, they had me in a spiritual community. Then I was working for another company, I realized they had me in a spiritual community. I started to realize, like, what is happening is as if somebody's trying to keep me at a certain level and suppress me and take my gifts at a higher level. Like, they see the power in me. They want to put me in their community, but yet I'm in my own pyramid. So think about it, how the ancient Egyptians were. You didn't have somebody that was sharing pyramids. No. The gods and the goddesses had their own pyramids. I have my own pyramid. Why is it I'm over here on this land? Yes, I know who I am again. Destruction. But the thing about it is, I am alive. I don't want to have to sacrifice myself again. This time, not this life. See, the truth is, we got many past lives. That's the truth too. Some of us want to stay right there though. But these people been knowing some of these things, and they had all that knowledge at the top. They've been using it over us. When this thing happened in 2023, and I was on the side of the road, and I got a ride up to the gas station, the local gas station, and they dropped me off. And the clerk in the store, I was like, something said, tell him that the world is ending and see what's happening. And he said, it got to end one day anyway. I don't care. That's what he said to me. And that I was in need. He didn't know my need. He didn't care. He thought I was a junkie on the street because I had been on the side of the road for days. It was ice cold at that time. But it was crazy because it was cold at nights and it was hot in the daytime. It's like it was a battle in the spiritual realm between hot and cold, or between light and dark, or something like that, right? Well, I'm telling you, so I don't know if it's something bit my lip or if I bit my lip if I went into shock. So I just wanted to drop this video because it's getting to the point where it's getting a little much for me. I've been on here for a long time. 55 minutes. I don't think I've ever had a video that long. But I'm going to upload this time, and I'm sending you all just peace and unity within yourselves, so we can all come together, because I say it's an I in unity. So it's I and you, and then we come together to commune. When we come together, it'll be in truth, order, it'll be balanced, and there'll be justice. So that's why I'm dropping this video, and I'm hoping, it seems like he didn't want the nations to come together on this land. And see, I'm getting more downloads again. And so I'm going to let the video in because it's been so long. I don't think I have ever had a video this long. But when I upload this video, I'm asking y'all to have patience with me, because I can tell you I have at least about 40 other videos. At least 40 other videos on different cell phones, on different email accounts, so many different videos, and I'm trying to put all of the videos together on my platform. I want to get them edited, so from certain things that's unnecessary or that I've been repeating, so it can continue as a sequence. So as a sequence or as a series, so it can be known, my testimony of my spiritual warfare from my perspective, and also based off of my ancestry and my makeup of my mother being of West African descent, and of my paternal family, my father, me knowing them as being Cherokee. That's what I knew as a child, that my father's family was Aboriginal. They were Cherokee. But then when we did the Juneteenth virtual Zoom, when we did that, I remember there was somebody else saying that's in the family, a paternal, my father is deceased, and at that time was deceased, but his direct bloodline said that it traced back to Ghanaian. So I would trace back to West African descent, part of me, and the other half East African. That's basically my makeup. And so that's all I want. It's my West African and my East African. I don't want anything else from these people. I don't want their entity in me that they keep putting to build up their beast in me. I want that beast to be removed, and I do not want it monitoring me. I don't want anything from them spiritually or mentally. My spiritual body is not enslaved. My soul is not enslaved. My soul is not for sale. My mind is not for sale. As I'm free physically, I am free spiritually. I am grateful to our God for everything.